Doug, what do we know about this?
Yeah, Megan, we've been able to confirm that tomorrow Governor Newsom will come to Oakland in the morning to make this announcement that all school teachers, staff, employees of schools in California will be required to get vaccinated and submit proof of vaccination or submit to regular testing. We believe that'll be weekly if they have a reason not to get the vaccine. But the goal is to get everybody vaccinated. Now, earlier today, San Francisco Unified School District announced it was going to mandate vaccinations for teachers and staff and employees. This evening, just a short time ago, Oakland announced the same thing. First, it went out to their employees, then to the community, the parents, families, that they would implement theirs with a deadline of Labor Day. And now, in between those announcements, we learned that the governor was coming to Oakland tomorrow, and now we know why, and it is to announce that this will be a statewide mandate. Now, again, there is an out there, as there is for state employees who are not in healthcare, which is if you don't want to get vaccinated, you can submit to weekly testing. Some people think that's not sufficient, but that out is there, and I think that may have needed to be there to get the support of the unions. The major teachers' unions in California and in the local districts are on board with this. They're going along with it, and they're willing to do it. So tomorrow morning, the governor will make this announcement. California will become the first state in the nation to mandate this, to tell teachers that they have to get vaccinated or submit to regular testing, Megan.
And, of course, I have to ask you, because we're all thinking about this recall election as well. Did you think he was reluctant at first to make this announcement, and how will that play into his odds during the recall?
You know, the recall is 5 weeks away. You would hope that he's not making decisions based on politics, and he would probably tell you he's not. But the reality is, I'm sure that factors into everything he's doing right now. He wasn't shy about the mandate for the state workers and for the healthcare workers, and a lot of people asked at that time, why doesn't it cover teachers too? And we had to explain that, teachers are not state employees. They're local district employees, or in some places, city or county employees. But I do think that as school has been coming back in session, there's been pressure on him to extend this, and there's been negotiations behind the scenes with the unions. I don't think he's been that reluctant in terms of the recall to take this step. He needs the teachers' union support in the recall. He has it. As long as they could work this out mutually, I think he figures it's to his benefit. Statewide, I think a mask mandate, a statewide mask mandate would hurt him in the recall. I don't think he's going to implement that again in the next few weeks before the vote, but I don't think this is going to hurt him much.
And the last question I have for you is then, if it is individual districts that will have to make sure that the teachers prove that they're vaccinated, do you see any pushback maybe from the more rural districts of folks actually saying, no, we won't be enforcing this? Do you know what would happen if that were the case?
Yeah, there certainly could be. I would not be surprised if in some of the rural areas that already feel like he's a dictator and bristle at all his mandates resist this, just as, some county sheriffs wouldn't support mask mandates earlier in the pandemic. We'll have to see. I mean, the system announced by OUSD is they have to submit there's a whole setup to submit proof of vaccination, just as many of us have had to do at our places of employment or other activities. And I assume it's going to be district by district having to implement this and actually operate this system. We'll have to see what the pushback will be and what the state will do about it. Remember, the state didn't do much about enforcement regarding earlier mandates, so we'll just have to see what happens if, Lassen County says, no, we won't. Well, will the state come in and say, oh, yes, you will?